Okay, then, students. So today we are going to discuss the chapter reduce, reuse, and recycle. We were discussing this chapter, and today we are going to continue the discussion. Okay. So in the last class we had done up to the reusing the waste and the recycling the waste and all. Today we are going to start with the government initiatives. Okay. So social initiatives or the individual initiatives and all, okay, how we can control the pollution at the source. Okay, so that all we are going to discuss here in this chapter. So some of the government initiatives which has been taken by the government in order to maintain the environmental quality and all. Okay, so many efforts has been taken by the government also. Okay, so to formulate many implementation of laws, implementation of this year rules and all has been imposed. Okay, so that certain to we can control the level of pollution to certain extent. Okay, and central pollution board, which works with the synchronization with the other authorities and all other important divisions in order to control the level of pollution in India. So this is we are talking only about India. Okay, and other governments in the other countries are also working effectively in order to control the pollution. So one is some steps are taken by the government. Rainwater harvesting is being mandatory in the government offices and building. New housing projects are also taking initiative in this directions. Okay, so rainwater harvesting. Now, rainwater harvesting means storing the rainwater. So how does it help in order to or to reduce the pollution? Because the rainwater and all, if we start conserving it, it will not only decrease the surface runoff, it will not only decrease the surface runoff, but at the same time it will also conserve the underground water table also. Okay, now the wastages which are thrown here and there in the land, then when the rainfall occurs, then the surface runoff will form, and that surface runoff will be taking those wastages to the drains, and from the drains it will eventually end up in the rivers, and from the rivers it will end up in the lake, pond, and sea. So the whole water bodies are getting polluted here. Okay, and the surface runoff, or when the rainwater occurs, the stagnation of water will also be there, and that water will percolate to the underground water table also, isn't it? So in that case, what is when the percolation of water occurs to the underground water table. Okay, so the not only the surface water is being polluted, but the groundwater will also get polluted. So if rainwater harvesting is done in all the housing or in the office buildings or in the the offices or buildings and all, then we can prevent water pollution to some extent. Use of compressed natural gas, CNG. So instead of using the fossil fuels like diesel or petrol, okay, we can use CNG in the vehicles, and it has been made compulsory in some of the cities like metro cities like Delhi and Mumbai, to use the vehicles, to use the to run the vehicles on the CNG. Okay, so which will emit less amount of gas, and it will also prevent some amount of air pollution. Okay, so the fossil fuel resources, petrol, diesel, etc., and all has to be replaced by the non-conventional sources of energy. Okay, like for example your wind energy, tidal energy, solar energy, geothermal energy. Okay, so pollution check of the every vehicle has to be done. That has been made compulsory also. In every 6 months and in 1 year, we have to check the level of pollution, how much of pollution is emitted by that vehicle and all, isn't it? So all those kinds of thing has to be made mandatory, has been made mandatory, and you can see the check of the vehicles and all by the police at the every check post and all, it is done, isn't it? So those kinds of thing has to be implemented, so that the people will become aware and they will be regularly checking their vehicles pollution level of their vehicles also. And now the government has also put restrictions on the older vehicles also. If the vehicles is more than 15 years, then you cannot run that vehicles on the road, it will emit more amount of pollutions. Okay, So other is also there, like the government has also taken educate action. Government has also other actions are also taken by the government, okay, like the river pollution. Other steps has also been taken by the government, okay, like educate action to check the river water pollution. River Ganga, the Ganga action plan is one such effort. In 2014 I think it was launched, okay, and rupees 2014 or 15, 2014 it was launched, and the bill was passed in 2015, okay. So 20,000 crore rupees of uh, money was invested in this project of Ganga action plan, okay. So river or mission Ganga and all, to clean river Ganga. So such kind of initiatives are taken by the government in order to check the level of pollution. So it is not only the work of government to do so, but also the responsibility of the society as well as the individual also, okay, to check the pollution level also, to check the pollution and to control the pollution. So the government in the recent year has given many emphasis in the construction of expressways and flyovers also. So for enhancing the efficiency of transport. So similarly, various mode of public transport such as bus, train, monorail, metro rail has also been developed efficiently. So building the expressways and over bridges, flyovers and all will help in the swift movement of the transportation, okay, or the vehicles, so that less amount of traffic congestions are there, traffic jams are there. More traffic jams, more traffic halts, then more amount of pollution will be there. So if there is a smooth flow of the transport, okay, then it will also check the level of air pollution to some extent. So government is also taking initiative in building those kinds of expressways and the flyovers and all, okay. Apart from that, the public transportation has also been developed efficiently, okay. Bus, train, monorails and all has been uh, uh, developed efficiently. So those are the steps which are taken by the government, okay, and the government is working in order to reduce the air pollutions and all. But it is also, as I said, responsibility of the society and every citizen in order to control the pollution, because ultimately we are only the one who is going to suffer, isn't it? We are only the one who is going to suffer from the the pollution that we are doing, isn't it? So it is our responsibility. So society can also play a very important role, okay, by in the reusing and recycling of the waste. The group of people can put the pressure on the government, like reclamation of land from the coastal areas, okay, or the campaignings and all can also be done in the society, okay. At the source only, from the source only we can reduce some level of pollution. So air pollution now has become a the problem all over the world. So the number of road vehicles such as cars and all are increasing, every day it is increasing, okay. So instead of using the individual car at a daily route, we can also adopt the schemes of carpooling, okay, or we can also use the public transportation also. If it is a shorter distance, we can walk, or we can use cycles, isn't it? So it will also have a good impact on our health also. So at at individual level also we can do all those kinds of things, okay. So we don't have to wait for the government to take action in order to save the environment, but at an individual level also we can follow those kinds of steps, and we can contribute some amount of contribute in in saving the environment. So domestic waste and all which is generated in India every year, 35 million tons, 35 million tons of wastages are generated annually. 35 million tons. And per capita generation waste in India is around 0.3 to 0.45 kgs every day. So all at a individual level also, if we do some actions, then we can save the environment from being polluted, okay. So we don't have to be a great environmentalist in order to save the earth, or save the environment. Okay, few steps that what we do regularly, okay, if we bring some changes in that, we can save the environment. For example, while going to the market and all, instead of taking the plastics from the vendor shops or from the shops and all, we can take our own bags. Okay, like cloth bags, we can take it. Okay, so that less amount of plastics we will be using. And if we are traveling a shorter distance, okay, we can walk or we can use cycles. That will also have a good impact on your health also. Okay, we can use public transport instead of using individual cars and all. Water and electricity also we can save, isn't it? Like in the washrooms, in the bathrooms, we can check whether there is a overflowing of water is not, or if the tap is opened or not. Before leaving the house, we can check the lights, we can check the water taps and all, isn't all those kinds of things has to be done at an individual level. Okay, so that we can contribute some amount, some contribution can be done in the in the controlling the level of pollution. Okay, so some of the items and all which we generally throw it, okay, we or the it can be reused also, or we can recycle that items and all, isn't it? Like for electrical appliances and all, instead of throwing it, we can repair it and we can use it. Okay, so all those kinds of things can be done. As I've already said, like in India, 35 million tons of waste is generated every year. So per capita generation of waste is around 0.3 to 0.45 kgs. Okay, so all those, the threat which is posed by those plastics to the environment, Supreme Court of India has declared plastics as a plastic bombs also. Okay, which has a greater impact on the environment and for the future generation also. It will be very difficult for the future generation if we recklessly this generates the waste now. It will be difficult for the future generation to survive. Okay, so referring to that, the Supreme Court of India has declared plastics as the plastic bombs. Okay, so those are the small things that we can apply in our daily routine, so that we can do some contribution in saving the environment at home. At the source, we can also segregate. That is the first step also, that we have to segregate our waste. Okay, keep two dustbins at home. Okay, one for the wet waste and one for the dry waste. The wet waste can be used as a manure for your kitchen garden also. The dry waste can be reused and can be recycled, isn't it? So in that way, segregation of waste, if it is done at the source, some amount, okay, so at the source, then we are definitely going to reduce the generation of wastages. So these are some individual initiatives that we have to take in order to save the environment. So every time I mention this, that we don't have to be a great environmentalist in order to save the environment. Okay, just taking those few steps, okay, applying those few steps, adopting those few schemes, few steps and all in our daily routine, we can contribute, okay, a lot in the process of saving environment. Okay, so with this we come to the end of the chapter, and I urge everyone to follow those kinds of steps in your daily life, so that we can contribute, or we can help, okay, help ourselves, okay, saving ourselves as well as saving the environment also. So thank you everyone.